Today, family and friends are calling for action after 2 weeks of minimum information about the investigation into the Shively Animal Clinic shooting. Thanks for joining us at 6:30. I'm Bobby McSwine. 2 weeks ago today, 21-year-old Trent Taylor was fatally shot during what police called an altercation at the clinic. Police have also said the case could be self-defense, but Taylor's family disputes that. They spoke with our Connor Steffen and photojournalist Jessica Farley this afternoon.
Droves demanding justice after the loss of a young life.
I'm so thankful that God allowed me to say a goodbye to my grandson. I didn't even know I was saying goodbye, but my grandson came on Sunday with flowers, and I got to kiss him, and I got to say, I love you, TJ. And I got to hear him say one more time, I love you too, Nene.
Sunday, May 14th, Mother's Day. 21-year-old vet tech TJ Taylor is shot dead during his shift at the Shively Animal Clinic. Taylor was an expecting father with a baby due in 4 months.
We went from planning a baby shower to planning a funeral. On Mother's Day.
Just an amazing person all around. I think everybody should have gotten to meet and know TJ. He was one of a kind, and not only was a friend taken, but a father, a son, and a brother were taken off this planet. And there needs to be justice.
Shively police responded to an incident on Mother's Day but made no arrests, saying the incident could have been self-defense. Taylor's family disagrees, saying TJ would never hurt anyone. Ultimately, the decision to file charges in this case now falls on the Office of the Commonwealth's Attorney. As of Sunday, it said it has no updates, sharing the following statement. I can confirm that our office has received the case from the Shively Police Department and it is assigned to a prosecutor to get the thorough review it deserves. There is no timeline for that process. And they say it may take a while to complete. For those gathered here at Jefferson Square Park, their question is, how much longer will they have to wait for justice? In Louisville, Connor Steffen, WHAS11 on your side.
Now, Shively police handed the case over to the Office of the Commonwealth's Attorney 5 days into the investigation. A spokesperson for the office said it will make a public announcement whenever a decision is made. Well, new information tonight. We now know the names of the 2 people killed in separate hit and runs this weekend. The first one happened on Saturday morning. According to police, a man he was walking on the outer loop near Briar Cliff. That's when police say a Dodge Caravan headed west and hit the man. The driver remained at the scene while another car pulled over and helped render aid. The victim was identified by the coroner as 32-year-old Douglas Trent III. Then early this morning at 3:30 a.m., another pedestrian was hit by a car. According to police, a man and woman were crossing the street at 31st and Broadway when a car came toward them. The man was able to get out of the way, but the woman was hit and killed. The coroner identified the woman as 43-year-old Sharice Matthews. The driver left the scene, and police are still working to figure out the make and model of the car. The LMPD traffic unit is investigating both incidents. We also know the name of the man killed after a shooting in the Chickasaw neighborhood. Just after 1 this Saturday morning, LMPD responded to a shot spotter alert on Grand Avenue. There, they found a man with multiple gunshot wounds who died at the scene. The coroner has identified the victim as 30-year-old Deontay Alexander. Anyone with information is asked to call the anonymous tip line 574-LMPD. You can also use the online portal. Right now, several agencies are searching the Ohio River for a man who went overboard in East Louisville early this morning. According to LMPD, they heard reports of a water rescue around 12:30 in the morning. Officers were advised that Anchorage Middletown Fire and EMS were dispatched to a man overboard report near Captain's Quarters. Divers searched overnight and returned this morning. It is now considered a recovery operation. And taking a closer look at water safety this Memorial Day weekend as we unofficially kick off boating season, here's what your boat must have according to LMPD's River Unit. Keep a life jacket on every child under 12 years old while the boat is moving. They also said recreational boats have to stay west of the 2nd Street Bridge. Some other things to check out before you head out: your headlights, fire extinguisher, and radio to call for help in case of an emergency. Well, Christina, those who were on the boat this Memorial Day weekend and those out on the river today didn't really have that much great weather like you predicted.
A little bit different than what we were dealing with at this time yesterday. You could see that thick blanket of clouds that we've been dealing with. You came in today and you just said, you know what, the weather today has just not been pretty. And there's no really other way to describe it for many of us. However, we've even seen a little bit of clearing in southern Indiana, and that's allowed those temperatures to really start to shoot up. Not so much anymore, as it looks like you do have another blanket of clouds that's going to pass through you folks, but it did at least allow you to have a couple of hours of some sunshine today. But meanwhile, here in Louisville, we've been just socked under those clouds all day long from start to finish. We've just had kind of those pesky light rain showers around as well. So have you folks around Campbellsville and stretching out to eastern Kentucky, but tomorrow is not going to be the case. Let's just get through this evening first, though, before we do have better weather in store for our Memorial Day. So look at this gradient of temperatures. We have lower 70s in southern Indiana, and 68 is the warmest we've been all day in the city, and it only gets cooler the farther to the south that you go because you've just been completely covered with that blanket of clouds out there all day long. Those clouds will eventually start to break up, but they will be taking their time overnight tonight. We'll wake up tomorrow probably with those clouds beginning to break up, and then that'll give way to some sunshine just in time for Memorial Day tomorrow. So the numbers are going to start to warm up as early as 10 or 11 o'clock tomorrow. We're already going to be warmer than what we were all day long today, so great news there. 75 degrees by lunchtime tomorrow, and then eventually going to end up back into those lower 80s, so that's much closer to where we should be for this time of year, and you'll want to enjoy that because we do have showers and thunderstorms headed our way. I'm going to detail all of that out coming up in about 12 minutes, Bobby.
All right, thank you, Christina. It's been 46 years since 165 people were killed in the Beverly Hills Supper Club fire, and today their memory was honored with the dedication of a permanent memorial. Moments of silence, prayer, and a solemn sound of a bagpipe provided the backdrop for an emotional and appropriate afternoon of remembrance. The 1977 fire started off with a small flame in the ceiling. Thousands of guests were sitting in the dining hall, many thinking there was no real danger, but the flames grew within seconds, and over 100 people didn't make it out alive. But the families of the victims say that this memorial will change the site for them.
From here on out, it is a positive in my life, very positive. I can't wait to come back up here.
The Beverly Hills Memorial features names of those who lost their lives, a list of local first responder units that responded to the fire, and more. The memorial site will become a park maintained by the city of Southgate. The months-long stalemate on the debt ceiling might be coming to an end. Speaker Kevin McCarthy says House Republicans and the White House have reached a tentative deal. ABC's Allison Cossack with what both men are saying.
Just days before a potentially catastrophic U.S. default, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy announced Saturday evening Republicans had come to an agreement in principle with President Biden to raise the debt limit. In a statement, the president calling it an important step forward and a compromise. The president speaking with McCarthy Sunday afternoon to review the finalized language of the legislation.
Make sure all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. I think we're in good shape.
McCarthy praising the deal, calling it good for the American people.
It doesn't get everything everybody wanted, but that's in divided government. That's where we end up. I think it's a very positive bill.
After the tentative agreement was reached, senior White House officials immediately began calling a number of House Democrats to sell them on the deal. In a letter to fellow House Democrats, Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries said the text of the legislative bill would be available for their review shortly after McCarthy and the president spoke Sunday afternoon, telling CBS.
I do expect that there will be Democratic support once we have the ability to actually be fully briefed by the White House.
McCarthy pledged lawmakers would have 72 hours to read the text of the bill before a vote expected on Wednesday. But over in the Senate, Majority Leader Chuck Schumer warning his colleagues of the potential for Friday and weekend votes in the event of filibusters by either side of the aisle. McCarthy saying he's confident the bill will pass the House with a majority in his conference supporting it.
You're going to have Republicans and Democrats be able to move this to the president. The president agreed with this bill as well.
Sources tell ABC News the deal would keep non-defense spending roughly flat through fiscal 2024, increasing just 1% in 2025. It fully funds medical care for veterans and phases in new work requirements for recipients of SNAP benefits. There will be no changes to Medicaid requirements, and it would streamline the review process for certain energy projects. Jay O'Brien, ABC News, the Capitol.